am so excited. Welcome to the Whitehead Files Christmas special. It's called Tiara and Slippers, even though you can't see my feet. And I am joined by three fantastic guests. To my left is Heather Waters from NatWest, Ecosystems Manager. She'll tell us about that later. And to my right, Dr. Julia Sergiu. I'm almost Italian saying that. And Innovate UK, she's senior something or other. We'll know about that later. And over, friend of your Manchester and the Whitehead Files, it's our very own Claire Marie Boggiano from Loring and University of Salford, lecturer in leadership. Welcome, ladies.
So GM for Women is a 10-year project that's actually led by Helen Pankhurst, the great-granddaughter of Emmeline Pankhurst. And GM for Women, we're in our fourth year. And what it does is the objective is to make Greater Manchester better for women and girls. And it's got 5 measures that they're measuring every single year. So across education, employment, safety, participation, and culture and active lives. And the next event, the launch of the reveal this year of the data, is on the 6th of February. That is a Sunday, and it's going to be at Alliance Manchester Business School, and they're looking for more women and men to get involved in supporting GM for Women. So you can check that out if you go to online and look for GM for Women 2028.
On International Women's Day 2022, we'll have an update for the Rose Review. Initially launched on 2019, research is being refreshed at this moment in time. So have a look online, NatWest Rose Review, and see what the latest research says about support for female entrepreneurs.
Innovate UK Edge provides fully funded support to every company that is doing innovation based in the Northwest. And especially I would like to support more women because we are having many of them, but I know that there are more out there. So you can reach out and ask if you are eligible for the governmental fully funded support.
How's it from the business perspective in Italy? Because I know you, obviously, because you're part of our Italian chamber, how's that affected them in that way?
Yeah, affected a lot because, of course, I'm the head of the Northwest office for the Italian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the UK. So we are helping Italian companies to get established here in the UK. Mm-hmm. And of course, with the pandemic, nobody was able to travel. And most of the Italian products and services are based on the personal relations, on the presence, physical presence. So that definitely affected it. But I think part of the clients, part of the companies, Italian companies, rediscovered a new word. So it was like an input to accelerate growth, to accelerate digitalization. So at the end of the game, I'm a very positive person. So I will say that the result was good.
So personally, I know there's bit of a Venn diagram in your role. It went from one to the other during the pandemic. So how's it affected you and some of your clients?
So I think I found lockdown hard, to start with, really honest, because I used to being out and about all the time. So being at home, and then you get used to it. And then it's like, then you've got to get used to going back out again. So I think I'm not out as much as I thought I would be. I honestly thought I'd be like, they let me out, they've unlocked the door, you can go. And actually, I'm mostly going out maybe once or twice a week to meetings because we've now learned how much more you can do by doing it online. So it's that balance, but it is really good sometimes to see someone face to face. If they've got quite a few issues and they want to talk through a lot of things, I think sometimes that face to face works. I think for the businesses, I mean, I did some research in summer last year talking about, the pandemic's over. How have you fared? And the resilience came through. And obviously at that time, we didn't realise it was going to come back again. It was going to go another lockdown in the Northwest. So this was like August last year. And actually, most people fared really well. They've actually been, particularly the women, because that's who I was working with last year, very resilient. And actually, they had kind of like educated the children, shop for the family, ran a home, ran a business. And they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Remember it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's that as well, but it's the homeschooling was absolutely, hands up to educators everywhere. I know Claire Marie and I both lecture, but the teachers of secondary school and primary school, just honestly, round of applause to you guys, because it was, so we were doing your job supporting you. It was tough. It was extremely tough.
So we did that for the Rose Review, which was a review about entrepreneurship for women in that summer. And obviously then we went into another lockdown. We locked down this time last year in the Northwest, well, in Manchester we were anyway, for quite some time. So I guess it was like, oh no, not again. But we were like set up for it, because I think the first time it was like how to get everybody working from home, the digital approach to things, where actually we'd mastered it by that point. So we came through it again. And I guess now we're just hoping that we can stay where we are.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that we...
And if we keep the kids at school, we can survive, is what I learned.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the kids leave my house every day and go to school, I can work from home and I can survive mentally, emotionally, physically. It's just when everybody was in the house, that was the
we
killer.
weren't ready, were we? But, you know, how many businesses had to move and actually get equipment and work from home? It's quite surprised how quick, actually, within a few weeks, I mean, working for a bank, when they were setting all the government schemes up for the loans, I saw my colleagues, how they had to change and adapt, and they worked around the clock at that time. But it took a few weeks to get sorted. It's quite surprising how quick we could adapt it, you know, so the digital approach does work. And I guess now, will we ever go back to how it was before? I don't think we will.
No.
I do think we'll keep some of those best practices from it.
I must admit, because you know, half of the Zebra Partnership is events and conferences, award ceremonies, festivals. That was a huge blow to the event industry. It was like a morning when all the event and stage crew walked down Oxford Street with the flight cases. That, you know, I was absolutely choked up, because I stood there and watched them go towards St. Peter's Square. And it was as if that industry was not going to come back. The theatres were dark. Performers were not performing in the way. So I am glad that we've come to, we don't want to go back to that. We really don't want to come back to that. In relation to business and clients, one of your clients, Cody, is it Gapare?
Well, I call it Gapare. So
I was just thinking the African way. One of the ladies who's supposed to be joining us today, Cody Gapare, she unfortunately is not well. But we have a little VT, and once we've watched the VT, well, I'm going to ask Heather a couple of questions in relation to Cody. So please, let's see our VT about Cody.
Eyelash came about when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014. And when I lost my lashes, I found out that I couldn't wear normal eyelashes. So then I came up with an idea for lashes for people without eyelashes of their own. So before I started my business, I really had never run a business before. I was never in the beauty industry. So when I came up with this idea, I was actually going through treatment at the time. So it was mostly me on Google trying to find out things like prototyping, patenting, trademarking. One of the first people who I spoke to who was really helpful actually is Kim from NatWest, and she gave me a few pointers, introduced me to a few networking groups that I actually then started to meet other women. We need that assurance from other women who've done the same thing, that actually what you're doing is great and just somebody you can just bounce idea off of, because we do worry about, you know, picking kids from school. You do worry about, am I still a good mom while running a business? And having some women who've done the same thing and are actually still raising kids, I think it's quite helpful. I've always said that just start, because when you've got a blank page, it's really difficult to make that first step. So when you make that first step, now you're not dealing with when do I start, you're dealing with how do I have the problem that I've got in front of me. So for me, when I started, the problem was, what is prototyping? You solve that problem and then you find out the next. But then as you go along, already your page is being filled. Before you know it, you've got a whole book written. So just start.
She's lovely, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, I'm very happy with her.
Yeah,
She's an amazing lady.
she's really lovely. And you know, back in November, only last month, we went to her event, didn't we? Which was lovely at was it the Maggie Centre?
Maggie Centre.
Yeah, she was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. So how did you meet Cody?
It's a long story. So going back about 4 years ago, maybe longer, she was up for an award with the Enterprise Vision Awards, and I was a judge. So I got talking to her, and as typical with me, I'm going like, have you got any business support? Have you got a mentor? So we exchanged details, and I contacted her, and I met her then, and she was in the early stages of developing the eyelashes. And I introduced her to the Business Growth Hub, and they got her a mentor. And I didn't hear from her for about 18 months. And then I was actually going to do the filming for the role model videos. And I just contacted her, how are you doing? Let's get back together. And we met back up again, and she got involved with the videos, and we've been in touch ever since. And obviously, you know, the contact through Prevent Breast Cancer, which she supports, and I do as well, along with Maggie's. We've just kept staying in contact ever since. And she's now just actually been on our Entrepreneur Accelerator program. So
Fantastic.
we're helping grow business a bit further.
How long's that program going for?
So you initially come for 6 months, and then if you wish to, and you're meeting the kind of the milestones you've set yourself, you can stay on for another 6 months. And then again, if that's still working, you can do a final 6 months. The maximum you can do is 18 months with us.
And can anyone join at any time on the Accelerator program?
No, so we have like dates. So our next cohort starts in January. So we just closed applications. So second week in January, we start the next cohort.
Enjoy Christmas and then get on the Accelerator program.
So you come along and you get a coach. And it's actually to work with you, not on your business. We work with you as a business owner. So it's all about the mindset, the thought leadership, and we support the businesses that way. So we've got 4 themes. So we've got high growth, which obviously, as it says on the tin, we work with climate businesses. We work with fintechs. We're a bank, so we like fintechs. And then the last one is purpose-led businesses, because we're a purpose-led bank. So those businesses, they're either doing something environmental, or they've got a particular theme, a passion to why they're setting their business up. So Cody, with the lashes, knowing the story behind it from the kind of breast cancer and the fact that she couldn't actually get lashes to wear because she had none at the time, is a really, really strong case for a purpose-led business. And that's why Cody's working with us now.
Fantastic. That's a great story, isn't it? Really, really good story. So let's just move on. So I want to know a little bit more about University of Salford and your leadership, lecturing and luring. Just share with us a little bit about that.
Well, what's interesting to me is it all fits together. So, you know, I've been working independently now for nearly 20 years, which sounds like a big number. And I always thought I was a specialist in change management. And now that I'm a lecturer in leadership, I understand I'm a specialist in leadership. And actually, all change is leadership, and leadership is change. So it's been really fascinating. I mean, I have learned so. I mean, I only came on board in January, so it's nearly 1 year now. And it's really consolidated everything that I've ever done, even back to my engineering days and back to my corporate days, and then what I've been doing in Lurig. And it just feels like it's all the magic has come together at the same time. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm working with a client on a female leadership program, and they have 12 amazing women in their business that are all technically really, really very competent. Some have been there a long time. Some of them have only started quite recently. But this business wants to retain them and wants them to be the future senior leaders. And they've noticed that these women aren't putting themselves forward as much as maybe some of the other men in the organization. And so it's about what needs to happen, because they're technically brilliant. Like, they technically know what they're doing, but that's the other thing that we're trying to get to help giving them. And I really don't like the word confidence, because you hear this relative to women all the time. But it's given them the motivation and engagement and self-belief to want to do the next thing. And what we're finding is, and the client I'm working with, the HR director, she said a really magic thing the other day. She said, I'm already seeing the ripple effect, you know, because you've come together, you've done your first session, and this was the second session. And she goes, I can already see it in the business. You're taking what you're learning here and you're already out in the business doing something with it. So it just feels like there's a little bit of magic happening there.
And it's Christmas, you know, and we all need a bit of magic, don't we?
Every time.
Don't we? Yes, definitely. So for you?
Well, for me, working at Innovate UK, well, that's my title is Senior Innovation and Growth Specialist. which is a very long title. Which, it's quite difficult sometimes to say this all together. But what I'm really trying to do, I work a lot with women doing innovation, because there are a lot of women doing innovation, but they don't know they are doing innovation, and they don't feel they are ready enough to be there, which is not true. They are ready. They just need the right motivation, as Claire was mentioning, and the right support sometimes. And what I've always noticed is that men are more into networking, finding support, putting themselves there, even if they are not ready. But women, well, this perfectionist type of bias that is there is really present a lot. So what I'm trying to do with them is literally tell them, you know what, there is a lot of support around. This is the ecosystem. Try to ask all the time. So my suggestion is always for them, ask for support, because worst case scenario, you're receiving a no, but the no is a guarantee. So ask for support, and most of them are receiving support from me, from other. So we work with many companies together, and it's very good, because at the end of the game, those women and those innovators can grow the companies, they can grow as leaders in what they are doing, and they can have a positive effect also on other people, on other companies, on other type of innovation. And this is something that I really, really like, because it gives me hope, and we are at Christmas, so hope is very important also in this period, but not only in this period. And it's helping me also to help them. And I think that this type of understanding, this holistic understanding around what companies need is very important, because sometimes we focus on, you need the money, you need this skill, or you need this other thing, but what about how to bring all these things together? And I think this is something that is very important for people, not just for companies, because what I'm always saying, well, companies are made by people. People are creating companies. So we shouldn't talk just about companies. We should talk about the people that are behind those companies, and which are the struggles, which are the skills, which are the strengths. Because there are many strengths. They feel sometimes a bit ashamed though, because they feel that, oh, maybe I'm talking too much about this. But if you are good at that, you should shout it out.
I want each of you to think of a message that you can give to anyone watching this program for 2022. What message would you give them? All right. You all got tiaras on. All right. You're all, let's say, business angels.
No, more or less.
Mentoring sister fairies. That's what we are. Mentoring sister fairies. What message can you give out there? Because we have, what's resonated here is supporting women. So I think, what message for 2022? If someone's, for example, thinking, accelerator program, how would you get them on there? What would you say?
So my message would be, ask, reach out. So most women will decide themselves it's not right for them. So put that aside, be brave, adjust your tiara, get it straight, and reach out and ask.
Yeah. You know, there are many, I'm going to tell you about something in a minute. I'm going to get you to say something in a minute.
I'm on it.
You're on it. Excellent. So where do they go? Do they walk into the branch and go, hi?
Well, they could do.
Oh,
and
good.
they would know.
Yeah.
Or you can just do the very simple approach, digital view for it. Go online, NatWest Accelerator, search it, and you'll find it and register your details.
Brilliant.
Simple as that. As simple as that. Or give me a call.
Oh, Heather. No, we'll put the details afterwards.
Yes. Call me.
She'll be like that. I'm shopping in Aldi. Go away. Right, Julia, what's your message?
I will build on another message on asking, but also network a lot. And it's never too early to talk about what you are doing, because you can have an amazing idea about how to do the next step, for instance, or how to improve what you're doing. Yeah. So ask, talk about what you're doing, and network a lot, as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Claire Marie, are you reading my mind?
Which one?
QBC.
WLIB. They're all there.
Go on. Tell them what the acronyms mean and share.
Okay, so you talked about a mentoring fairy.
Yes.
But actually we're sitting here with our tiaras on us, like queens.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've mentioned here before, I'm an ambassador for Queen Bee Coaching, and I know you are as well, Carol Ann.
Yeah.
And Queen Bee Coaching is all about supporting women across Manchester and women in leadership. And they provide free coaching support. And they're looking to support women across all the 10 boroughs of Manchester. So I would encourage everyone watching, either themselves, if they're the right person, or if they know someone, to treat themselves for their New Year's resolution to go out and get a coach or be a volunteer at Queen Bee Coaching and help us bring forward the female leaders across our city for the future.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And especially north of the city.
Especially, and
Yeah.
east.
Yeah,
And
north
west.
and east, especially north and east of the city. So last month we were at Cody's event, mentioning Cody again, and somebody, I don't know who, read a poem.
Oh, who could that have been?
I don't know who that
Did
was.
they read or did they perform?
I think it's a performance.
I think
it was
More a performance.
Well, potatoes, really. But anyway, I'm going to read 2 verses, maybe 3, of it. And it's a Maya Angelou poem. Yeah? Okay. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I have oil wells pumping in my front room. Just like moons and suns with certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Thank you, ladies. Shall we get our glasses? Charge our glasses. I want to wish you
Cheers.
a Merry Christmas
You too.
and a Happy New Year. And I'll leave you with an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, we go together.